Hi guys! So today I'm going to be talking about my group's experience of going to the art museum for our group project. Our group was a part of the abstract expressionist movement, and so while researching museums and trying to find museums that had a lot of our works on display, we ultimately ended up finding out that the MoCA Museum of Contemporary Art, located in downtown Los Angeles, was going to be the best fit for us and for our group. And so once we decided that that was the museum we wanted to go to, our next step was trying to figure out a date that worked for all of us, because we really wanted to prioritize going as a group, because I just feel like when looking at art, especially abstract art, the type of art that our group focused on, it's really good to have a second opinion, different perspectives, because art that's, all about interpretation and all about how it makes you feel and stuff like that. Yes, it is visual, but it's more about the feeling and stuff like that. And so I feel like looking at art like that, it's really good to have someone else's opinion and ideas just to keep them in your head, you know what I'm saying? So we were able to find a day that we all went together as a group, so it was really nice. We all were able to carpool because it is a little bit of a drive from Orange County. So we all carpooled together. Getting there was a little bit tricky, of course, LA traffic and stuff like that, but then also parking was kind of hard. The Museum of Contemporary Art does not have a parking structure like within themselves. You have to find parking at other places, and so we had to do research to try to find where to park. We ended up finding that the Walt Disney Concert Hall, which is just another one of like the big buildings on that main street, had parking that you could do, and so we decided that we were going to park there. Took a while to get there. We kept making wrong turns and stuff like that, but we eventually were able to get to the parking structure. It was only like a couple minutes walk, a few blocks maybe, to get to the museum, and so we parked. We all walked together. We didn't have to pay to get in the museum because luckily the MoCA has free general admission. I would say if you are going to a museum, call them, make sure you do have to pay, don't have to pay, always check if there's a student discount. And so all that we had to do to our museum trip was to make a reservation, so we knew that like our date was set and we were good to go in, no payment needed. So that was really nice and made the process really easy of just going in and having the reservation. And once we were in, it was really cool to see all these art pieces in real life. Like, I haven't been to an art museum in so long, and so it was just really cool to actually see the paintings in real life and see the differences and brushstrokes and texture and stuff like that. One of the paintings that I had to focus on for my group project was Rothko number 61, Rust and Blue. And seeing that painting in real life was crazy, because I knew Rothko's paintings were huge, but this painting was, I think, 9.5, almost 10 feet tall. I think it was like 6 or something feet wide, but incredibly tall painting. And so just like walking up and looking at it, it was amazing to see how he blended it in together and stuff like that. And the colors blue and orange, or like a reddish orange, same thing. You don't really think that they blend together well. And so seeing how Rothko was able to take these two colors that don't really go together and make it all go as one cohesive piece, it was really amazing. And it really makes you appreciate the work that they put into it. Seeing other art, I had to do Newman, The Cry from 1948. That painting was really crazy to see in real life, because that painting only really has blacks and whites and a little bit of a blue hue to it, which you can't really see online, but I feel like in person it almost had like a bluish tint to it, which is cool. Seeing that painting was really cool in real life, because it seems like such a simple idea of just the blacks and whites, but really looking at it on a close level and seeing all the differences and even like the little specks and the dots and everything, whether it was intentional or not, it really just brings a whole new level of detail to the piece that you really just can't see online, you know what I mean? And so seeing things in real life really just adds a whole new level of appreciation for it. And so those are the two paintings that I had to focus on for my group project. But then also, oddly enough, my favorite painting that I saw as a whole was Jackson Pollock's number 3. That one was really cool because I love primary colors, like they're just like my favorite. And so it had like all the primary colors splashed in the middle, and then it had like a grayish greenish background with black and white splashes around it. So it was almost like the primary colors were centered and everything else like complemented it around it, or contrasted, if you will. And while I was looking at Pollack's pieces, it was really cool to see like the thickness of the drips, how they spread across the canvas. It's like you can almost like imagine what it looked like when he flicked it on the canvas, just by seeing how thick it was in the direction and how it sprayed and stuff like that. And so it was really cool. And also Pollack's pieces were relatively big as well to see in real life. And so it just is really cool to be able to see the art in person. It was really cool to be able to go with my group because we could all talk about it and stuff like that. And so overall, my suggestion to people going, make sure you know where you're parking and if you have to pay or not. Make sure you know if you have to pay to get into the museum or if you just have to make a reservation like we did, because even if you didn't pay, if we didn't have a reservation, we couldn't go in. And then last but not least, if you can go with your group or even just 1 or 2 people, break it up into 2 separate group trips. I really think it's worth it just because being able to talk to other people, get second opinion, it really helps with your overall understanding of the art pieces and the movement. So yeah, but it was really cool and I really appreciated to go with my classmates. We had a really fun day and yeah, it was super fun. Thank you so much.